All right, glad to know you're still there. And of course, it's still AM Sports coming away from NT Sports 24. Right now, we're getting to our first discussion segment. And of course, evidently, we're discussing mixed martial arts. And of course, to begin this discussion, let's let you know that the capital city of Abuja came alive just on Saturday night as we saw lots of interesting action. In fact, the Octagon was something else as the third installment of the Akalaka Abuja Fightnight took center stage, and evidently it was the battle of Gwarinpa. Let's see the report. Held at the 21 Arena of the National Council for Arts and Culture in Abuja, the third edition of the Akalaka Fightnight brought together rising talents in featherweight, bantamweight, lightweight and strawweight divisions for both men and women. Building on the success of previous editions, Night of Glamour and Glory in 2023 and Battle of Paikoko Mountain, fans turned out in numbers for an evening that combined combat sports with entertainment, music and high energy. Inside the cage, the fighters wasted no time making statements. Abdulkarim Nasiruddin set the tone early, securing a technical knockout victory over George Sunday in a bout that ended dramatically with Sunday stretchered off.
I still don't look down on anybody, and I also don't look down on myself. I believe that whatever anybody can do as human, I also can do better. So I've been training for it. It's just like, it's normal stuff. It's something that we've been training for, we've been doing it.
In the women's bantamweight contest, Baliki's Quadri impressed on her professional debut, dominating Cynthia Phillips before forcing a second round submission.
I've been fighting MMA, which I won all my fights. So actually amateur. So yeah, for my pro, this is my first win, and I'm really happy.
I would love to try when I fully know what I'm doing. Do you understand? Because I basically don't know. I just wanted to, try something new.
Michael Dawodo also delivered in the featherweight division, claiming victory in the second round against Ebere. One of the standout bouts of the night saw David Ezekiel, the Badger, face Joseph James, the Big Dog, in a closely fought encounter that went the distance. After 3 rounds of high-level exchanges, the judges ruled it a draw, keeping both fighters unbeaten. Christopher Swande recorded a second-round technical knockout win over Cornelius Godpower, while Peter Onu extended his perfect record with a knockout victory over Goodluck Okpara in just over 4 minutes. The women's featherweight co-main event, billed as a tough contest, turned out to be the quickest fight of the night. Victoria the Hunter Oduak needed just 48 seconds to defeat debutant Blessing Shetima via technical knockout. The main event delivered on its promise as experienced striker Emmanuel knockout machine Benard faced Solomon the Black Scorpion Yakobo in a thrilling bantamweight clash. After 3 intense rounds filled with skill, aggression and tactical exchanges, the judges awarded Benard a unanimous decision victory with scorecards of 29-27, 29-27 and 29-28. Speaking after the event, President of the Akalaka Spirit of the Warrior, Dr. Ebere Benard, reiterated that beyond the excitement, the initiative is aimed at steering young people away from social vices while also providing a platform to develop their talents.
I would say that we are making an impact. From the time we did the last event, which was in 2024, the Battle of Paikoko Mountain, I can tell you with confidence that we have about 4 of fighters that we have exported outside the shore of the country. They are growing in leaps and bounds. Notable among them is the likes of Yahuza, who is now 8-0.
One of the major highlights of the night was the recognition of Dr. Benard himself as he was decorated with a 7th-degree black belt and inducted into the Federal Black Belt College of Nigeria in honor of his contributions to martial arts development. From thrilling knockouts to emerging stars and a strong message of youth empowerment, the Battle of Gwarinpa once again underlined the growing appeal of mixed martial arts in Nigeria. In Abuja. Quite interesting. Come on, nothing missing, nothing lacking. It delivered. We just felt we were at the MGM Arena, you know, in the United States of America. And of course, the 21 Arena just delivered on Saturday night. And of course, I'm so glad to let you know that the man, the brain behind that, the president of the Akalaka Spirit of the Warrior, is no other person than Dr. Benard Ebere, is here with us live and direct. Many thanks for joining us on the show today, sir. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your latest induction. You know, the beauty is that, you know, you guys are always professional. If not, when I see you on the road, I'll just run. At 7th, Dan, come on. You know, and say the highest degree is the 9th degree, and you're already 7th. That is quite beautiful. I will say congratulations to you again, sir.
Thank you very much.
And of course, you know, what a night. We had, I think the first installment of the Akalaka Spirit of the Warrior was Battle of Night of Glory or something.
Yeah.
And of course, the Battle of Paikokun Mountain. And now, you know, the Battle of Gwarinpa. I love the way, you know, you put all these things to reflect the culture of the land. But let's start with the third installment, you know, the Battle of Gwarinpa. How would you describe this particular edition, you know, of the fight?
For me, the feeling is nostalgic, you know, just like you pointed out. This is the third edition. And looking back from when we started, because before we came to Abuja, we've tried to host the MMA in other parts of Nigeria, like in Rivers State, in Lagos, also in the East. But looking back and seeing what happened on Saturday, the turnout, the attendance, the quality of fans, it means that MMA, as far as Nigeria, FCT is concerned, has come to stay. In my mind, I say that Abuja is now the home of Akalaka Spirit of Warrior. The plan going forward is to see how we can be joining out events back to back, every 4 months, every 5 months, every 3 months, because the fans are eager.
Yes.
Even up to this moment, people that were not able to witness what happened on Saturday, they are still calling. They are still calling. We are happy. We didn't achieve that alone. It was with the help of other stakeholders, the media, the press, and just to put it a bit more specific, partners, Marwa Self-Defense and Option A International, they were very, very instrumental to the quality of the arena and the fight we saw. But we want to equally use this opportunity to call out for more partnership and sponsorship. Yeah. The bigger, the merrier. Yeah, we can build this into $1 billion business, as we know it's trend in the US and in the UK.
All right, quite beautiful. You know, we'll still get to the area of, you know, sponsorship and of course collaboration, which will be quite necessary to develop the brand. And of course, you know, we do know. I just want to know, what does it take putting this together? You know, getting the, you know, fighters, you know, not so many of them, not that they were just picked on the streets. You know, they came from different parts of the country, and of course, they are being supported by their gyms. We could see, you know, their profile, how they came with the big support and all that, making it quite lively. How were you able to, you know, assemble these stars? There are some that they've been under you that you keep growing them.
Yes, one of our vision is centered on youth development, grassroots youth development, discovering new talent. When we started, we went into the creeks of Niger Delta to identify at-risk youth and try to veer their mind away from cultism, militancy, and deploy them into something like MMA, making them productive and then building a career for them. We promised when we started in 2021 that within the span of 5 years, we want to be able to take out of the street about 500 Nigerian youths. We're not there yet, but we are making progress. So I work with gyms across the country. we identify these kids, we send them to the gyms for training, and when they hone up their skill, we deploy them, to be involved in the business of a combat sport entertainment, which is a means of livelihood for them. Again, we are a registered organization with Nigeria CAC and recognized internationally in the sense that everything that we do is on international typology record, such that the fighters can build records that will be recognized. And then bigger promotions outside the shores of the country will start inviting them when they look at their record. And it has been happening. We have at least about 4 or 5 of our young Nigerian fighters that have been able to garner good records, and they've been signed by bigger promotions, and they're making a livelihood. So we want to see that in the shortest possible time, with the help of every stakeholder, that this will now be a channel or like a funnel, to identify youth and then launch them. We can see examples of similar stories that we are trying to draw from. The likes of Francis Ngannou in Cameroon. He was from a little village in Cameroon, mining sand, and suddenly he said he wanted to go to search for the greener pasture. He made attempts to leave Cameroon to Europe by road. I think about 4 different times he failed. The last time he was able to cross over, he was even incarcerated. When he was released, he was homeless for some time, and he bumped into a gym in Paris. He said, "Teach me boxing." It was an MMA gym. Today, the story is different. Francis Ngannou is one of the biggest MMA stars in the world today. Yeah. He has made a lot of, he has established himself economically, and is giving back to the society, not only even to Cameroon, to Africa. We want to produce more of that in the nearest future.
All right, sir. Would you say that, we're not taking advantage of this? Because, we know that, this is a multi-billion-dollar economy. If people actually tap into this business of mixed martial arts. But in Nigeria, would you say that the needed support is there? Yeah. And even this, the environment?
We have the environment.
Okay.
A plethora of fighters you find in the bigger promotions in the world are all in Africa. Everybody's coming to Africa to come and pick fighters. But we here in Africa, we in Nigeria, we're not taking advantage. The bigger promotions that have been in the forefront over the past 30, 40 years thereabout, especially in the US and Europe, is billion-dollar investments in billion-dollar business. I don't know why we are not leveraging on that. And that's why we're using this platform. We are not being discouraged. We want to keep doing more fight, such that everybody in Nigeria will become a fan of MMA. You can see how exciting it was on Saturday night, the frenzy. I mean, people are calling for more. We want to build a big business that will give people turnover. When I mean turnover, the market woman, the press, the media, the government. So we are calling for sponsors. The more, the merrier. If you have big sponsorship, I can tell you that some of the hosts, 1,000 capacity hall, 2,000 capacity hall that will take this fight will not be enough. We'll bring the fight to the National Stadium, where we could be looking like 10,000 fans in attendance, 20,000 fans in attendance, as is tenable in the UK and the US. They are able to turn the business into multi-billion-dollar business because of the attendance. We can achieve it, but I think what we are doing, we are setting the pace. We are open. Big businessmen should come in. Corporate, individual government should come in. It's a good platform, both for national development and also for business.
All right, very, very interesting, and of course, just like you said, I could remember, I can still remember vividly. When you go for an event, when it's getting late, you see people step out. the crowd gets, will be dwindling. But for this one, it was as if people were now coming as it was going. Everywhere was still full. They were quite excited and they waited till the very last fight, which is number one. And it wasn't just Nigerian audience. People, the international community, they were there, not just one or two, a lot of them. Lovers of MMA, I wouldn't know if scouts were there too. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel very, very happy and positive to keep doing what we are doing, not to be discouraged. It means that all the effort, the empty seats in the first edition in Lagos, in Museum Center, is turning out to 500, 800 capacity hall being filled up. I want to believe that in the next edition in Abuja here, that we could get up to 1,500 fans all seated. But I think the media is going to will play a very big role here.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is that the way we stream footballs and other programs, let's create a small window for MMA, even if it's just 10 minutes every week, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. If all Nigerians are watching it, people will know. I mean, more people will begin to know about this, and they will appreciate, and their appetite will increase.
Yes.
And everybody is facing a lot of challenge, but you see how calm people are when they watch this fight. Like you said, even at 12 a.m.,
yes,
people were still coming.
Yes.
I think if we can collaborate, I would say collaboration across the spectrum, we'll be able to build this ecosystem into something that is going to be enviable, not only in Nigeria, in Africa. Because since that Saturday night, I've been receiving calls from outside the shores of the countries. Gyms, management, and fighters, they say they want to feature in the next edition. We're talking of international fighters now.
That's quite beautiful. And of course, I like the way, you make this thing African, Nigerian, our culture. To start with, this Akalaka, the spirit of the warrior. Tell us, what's it all about, the name?
Okay, Akalaka, spirit of MMA promotion, the coining of the name and even establishing the brand is rooted in our love for our African tradition. Africans have a unique culture and unique tradition that is rich in display of warriorship. From the ancient tribe of Gwari to the Fulani Empire to the Ohafia people in the east, to the Oduduwa, to the Amontego. Every story about Africa is about war, about warriorship. So Akalaka happens to be the progenitor of the Ebere people in River State. There's the story that Akalaka used to be in Bini, in Edo, in Bini. He was a warrior in the palace of the Oba of Bini. Something happened in the past, and he was forced to migrate from the palace. When he migrated from the palace with his family to protect them, it was during flood. He found himself in a small town called Abo in Delta State. Being a hunter, being a strong medicine man, he always go out for expedition. I was going, he found a dry land in River State, in Ebere land, and then he established there. It was the same Akalaka that gave rise to the Ikure people in Port Harcourt and Ogba people in River State. So when we try to form this establishment, we try to link it up to that story of Akalaka, who is a warrior. Because the Ebere tribe, we do Greco-Roman style of wrestling, and some kind of club fighting, using stick to fight and machetes. So today is that narrative where we are pushing and expanding into MMA. And I'm glad that our brand is reaching Africa. Today, if you go to anywhere in the world, because like the fight yesterday, Saturday night, it was streamed live across the world. We're getting calls from US and chat and comments, people interacting. So we want to make it an African team. That's why you see that each of our fights comes with a team that speaks about our culture and our tradition. And I can see how it excites the foreign nationals and expatriates. They love it. They want to know what is Gwarinpa, what is this story about Gwarinpa. You know, they want to know, oh, what is this Akalaka? What is Paikoku Mountain? Who are the people that stay there? What led to that story? They want to know, and that is the catch.
You know what? I'm like them too. This Paikoko mountain, and of course the Battle of Gwarinpa. We know Gwarinpa is for the baggy people, yeah. Gwarinpa, something like that. And of course, you know, I was asking you the other day, like, Battle of Paikoko Mountain. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, even for the Paikoko Mountain, you know, when we staged that event, which was the second edition in Abuja about the Battle of Paikoko Mountain, then there was insecurity in Abuja. Kidnapping and all that. We partnered with the Nigerian police. The AIG of, I think, Zone 4, so, I mean, gave go-ahead, police deployment to support. A week before the fight, build up to the fight, we organized hiking in Abuja, big hiking, more of community policing to create that awareness that it is the collective effort for us to be safe. And lo and behold, we came up with a very, very good team, made the speech during the event. Miraculously, after the event, there was a tone down on insecurity. Today, people can move around. Nobody is talking about somebody coming to kidnap somebody in Abuja. People want to run away. Now, why did we come up with that team? We researched and we discovered that the Gwari people, that you have most of them in Abuja, that in ancient time, they came from somewhere and found fortress in this mountain. You see, you have a lot of mountains in Abuja, which are representative of what? Defense. And that is, I guess that's why even the country chose Abuja to be the headquarters, center of defense. So it was warriors that were actually staying on those mountains, you know, fighting to defend their people, to defend their tradition. So we wanted to remind Abuja people, we wanted to remind Nigeria that we are all warriors. We can't defend ourselves. So we bring in these fighters, you know, to portray the symbolic importance of that ancient tradition.
I think that's quite beautiful. That initiative, I am so much in love with it. And that's quite beautiful. So we're waiting for the next name. I don't know, because I'm just waiting to see what next you're going to give us. We're looking forward to that. And of course, you've said that we're going to see another one this year, because you said 3, 4, 5 months. That's what you plan to do. So hopefully we get to see another edition of the Fight Night, you know, this year. But, you know, I've seen MMA fights. You know, there was one recently held. The international body had to step in because they felt there was a bit of controversy, that the officials were not professional. But throughout the fight, from the first fight to the very last one, I never saw a time that you know, a section of the crowd started saying we no go agree, something or something. They were okay with all, you know, all judges, you know, all what they, in fact, you know, the judges, all whatever they had on their scorecards, they were very okay with that, and they felt they were fair. You know, so how were you able to, you know, get that done to ensure that transparency, the consistency with the results, and of course the professionalism? Excellent.
You see, there's this analogy at times when they talk about square peg and round hole, or round peg in square hole. It has to do with the value system. It has to do with the vision of the organization itself, Akalaka Spirit of Warrior. Much as we want to project our culture, we want to show integrity, that everything has to do with integrity and respect. We say, actually, there's no winning or losing. And this is what we instill in the mind of our fighters and officials, and even their corners and their management. There's no winning or losing. And even in this particular event, in our branding, we say that the mightiest warrior strives to conquer himself, not others. And in every victory or defeat, there's a lesson. The fighters focus on the lesson. Their gym focus on the lesson. Their management focus on the lesson and not whether there is some kind of error due to human bias. So you go back and learn lesson either from in defeat or in victory. And again, because most of these stakeholders, a part of the Akalaka Spirit of Warrior, are rooted in martial art tradition, have decades of experience. Is that value that we protect. But on the other hand, we equally brief the referees on how to make calls. Reason being that this fight is taking place in a controlled environment. That's why we always want that viewers, fans, please don't try this at home. And the key message about MMA is that you say protect yourself at all times. We always try to make this thing very clear. What do I mean by that? We don't want athletes to take damage that will become lead to medical implications, because our medical industry, medical system is still evolving here. And so I think I'm happy that this is coming from you and it's coming from Abuja Fight fans, that there was no controversy. It means that the fighters, they fought with respect. And that is the message we want to pass across, not only to Nigeria, to across the world, that we should treat each other as nations, as individuals, with mutual respect. If you have respect for the countries around you, you will not go into war with them. If you have respect for people in your country, in your neighborhood, you will not take guns and start kidnapping them and killing them in their home. Mutual respect, respect for life.
That's quite beautiful, and I'm already, waiting for the next one. Now let's talk about you. You didn't just, get into MMA. You're a practitioner of so many forms of mix of martial arts. You know judo, you know karate, taekwondo, and all that. How did you get into it, and how did you now become this type of person that is not only just one form? You know a lot of forms.
Yes, interestingly, and those were the things that have motivated me to float this promotion, because I tried to use my own story to reach out to these youth that need help. Because once upon a time, as a kid growing from Niger Delta in Nigeria, I faced a lot of challenges. I was in need for help that was done. I even got enlisted in the military. Although I started doing martial arts. And it was the lesson, my involvement in the martial art, that prepared me to transit into the military. So I got enlisted in the military, and I was deployed into a special force operation regiment. At a point, I rose to become a military non-combat instructor. We apply this concept even in wartime when it matters most. So I learned resilience, discipline, persistence over the years. I discovered that to be a balanced individual, you have to balance your skills. So I have to move into different styles. From Kung Fu, which was my original style of martial art, I moved to Taekwondo, kickboxing, judo, across to get that base. You saw what happened during the fight. The fight can start from standing and it goes to the ground. Jiu-Jitsu, can you end the fight within 5 seconds? We saw it. With triangle submission, you saw it.
Yes.
So that was what motivated me to drop MMA, to stay in MMA, to create that balance. You look for where you have weaknesses. As individuals, we are not perfect. You have areas of strength and areas of weakness. You look at the areas of weakness, and then you develop that weakness. The whole essence of martial art is to overcome your weakness. And to overcome your weakness, you have to train. You have to continue what you have begun. In a Chinese palace or Shaolin palace, the word Kung Fu actually means an art or anything that is learned, practiced, and mastered over a long period of time.
That's quite beautiful. I love every bit of it. Now, we saw it, and for the word Taekwondo Judokan, Federation to recognize you. And of course, just like they said, that they are, to make you seventh dan. I think that's huge. And of course, we saw everyone there. You're a grandmaster. Not easy to be that. And of course, that was the honor that was bestowed on you. And what they said was that because of the way you've been developing, the sport in Nigeria, and also helping the young ones, taking them out of the streets, giving them something meaningful and something, productive. What's your reaction to, being, a seventh dan, black belter?
For me, being a conferred 7th-degree black belt is just like the beginning. It means that the journey ahead is very far. The journey ahead is very far. You see, when we started, I never knew that life would bring me to where I am today. Like I said, I reflected earlier on, from a very, very humble, challenging beginning. In fact, with the discipline I got from martial art in the 90s, I actually funded myself through secondary education and university education.
I think that's quite beautiful.
Yeah, so it's that story we are retelling back to the kids, that even though you are in the slum, even though you are in the slum in Port Harcourt, even though you are in the slum in Abuja, even though, you are an orphan, that if you persist in whatever you are doing and you believe, wherever you want to be, you're going to be there. When we're doing all this, I didn't know that I will even study to become any PhD in my life. I didn't even know that I will be able to even get a first-degree black belt, talk of to be conferred a 7th dan. Because everything about martial art is about self-discovery.
Yes.
And there's no end to self-discovery. Keep on discovering yourself, keep on moving. My boss in the office used to say something. He said, the future belongs to the dissatisfied. And in Chinese martial art palace, we say that the fish will not grow until it leaves its pool. So when you stay in your comfort zone, nothing is going to come. So you have to put yourself in that discomfort zone so that you'll be dissatisfied. And that's the only way you can rise like the phoenix, and the world will see you. I'm glad with what the Judokan Federation, that what we are doing locally here, that internationally, the world is watching. And I think we will not give up, we will abide by, persist on that legacy, and see how we can support the youth and make Nigeria a peaceful country.
That's quite beautiful. I wanted to ask you this because it's like you studied, geophysics, right?
Yes, I have a PhD in geophysics.
And because you have, learning all these styles and all that, busy promoting MMA and all that, one, wonders how you were able to, still have time for, academics.
Yeah, research has shown that people that practice martial art, especially combination of martial art that involve striking, grappling, submission, and all that their IQ development is 30% higher than
every other person.
Because you're going to take decision in split seconds. If you make mistake in that split second, they submit you. So you'll be moving. I mean, you can see so I would say, yeah, that ability to push yourself when you're tired. You know, there's something that is trending in Nigeria now. They say, Yakubu.
Yakubu Mane.
Yakubu Mane. So that is it. That ability to put extra effort when you feel like giving up, it doesn't come overnight. It's a philosophy, it's a way of life, and that is what has helped me. Martial art has been my foundation. Launched me into the military in the academic world, and even in the corporate work as a geophysical consultant across the globe.
Quite interesting. Just as you're sitting before you go, I want something from you. Just give us one small style like that. Because I like the way you move. Just give us.
You see, Bruce Lee he's not scared of that man that has practiced, 10,000 techniques. But he's scared of that man that has practiced one technique
and mastered it.
And mastered it 10,000 times. Which has to do with mastery. When you gain that mastery, the fight is no longer physical. You're not supposed to fight anymore. You are now a purveyor of peace. The duty is to shine your light wherever there is darkness. Without talking, as a grandmaster or as the master of that, everything will be done. I can tell you that you can stop a fight 10,000 kilometers away from where you are. We call it the art of fighting without fighting. Humble disposition, no arrogance. Because if you want to fight, you come to the octagon in a controlled setting.
Yeah.
Because you must not do this outside the octagon. Imagine that you do a triangle on somebody on the street because he picked pocket on you and the person passed out.
One time.
There is this saying that nothing is as precious as life. As a martial artist, especially if you have gotten to the mastery level of black belt, it is your duty to protect life. Because if you don't protect life, it's a sin. And if you take life too, it's a sin. If you must enter into combat, it has to do to save life. Otherwise, avoid rather than check any individual. Run away rather than fight.
That's quite beautiful. And of course, I've enjoyed every bit of this. And of course, you know, I must say congratulations to you on the success of the fight night, the Battle of Gwarinpa. And of course, again, on your, you've been bestowed the 7th Dan honor, and of course, been welcomed into the Black Belt College of Federal Black Belt College of Nigeria. I think that's quite interesting. So thank you so much. This conversation will always continue because it's our job to promote the sport, and we'll continue to talk to you and be asking you about your initiatives. We're partners now. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. I've been speaking with no other person than the man himself. He's a grandmaster. A 7th Dan. He's just been inducted into the Black Belt College of Nigeria. And of course, somebody who has PhD in geophysics. That's no small thing. And evidently, he knows different styles when it comes to martial arts. He's promoting mixed martial arts in Nigeria. And of course, this is coming off the success of the fight night in Abuja 2 days ago. And of course, no other person than Dr. Ebere Benard. That's been the discussion when it comes to the development of mixed martial arts in Nigeria with the Akalaka experience. We want to thank you, but we're not done when it comes to the show. Remember, I'll be back again. And of course, on top of the hour of 11, it will be the time for AM Sports News. Do stay with us.